Today with a triple display setup just by connecting one SpliTXtend, which is basically a small docking station that I've got connected here to this laptop, and we will be able to get a triple display setup plus all the accessories that we can connect. Now if we look at the SpliTXtend, we have two USB Type A and one USB Type C, all of them 3.0, one micro SD card slot and one SD card slot, and then on the other side three HDMI outputs that will give us these three display outputs right over here, and also a USB Type-C, which is power delivery up to 100 watts, which means that we will be able to connect everything, including the power right on the SpliTXtend or docking station. And then with one single cable, we will get not only the displays, not only all the accessories, but power coming into the laptop as well. Simple as this, but let's check it out. Here we are with a triple display setup using the SpliTXtend. And if we take a look here at the power of this laptop, we are with 90% of charge, and we are charging up to 100 watts. But as I said, this laptop only takes 65 watts, so it's more than enough. Now in terms of displays, as we can see, I've got 4 displays right over here, and I've got this setup, but we can rearrange them just the way that we want. Now if we are using 3 displays like I'm using right now, the maximum that we will achieve is that in one display we will have 4K up to 60 Hz, on the second display we will have 4K up to 30 Hz, and then on the third one we will have up to 1080 at 60 Hz. These will be the maximum resolutions and refresh rate that we will get connecting the 3 displays, which we can choose which one we can right over there according to the manual. Now one of the things that we are going to test out is the speed test from the USB that we have right over there. So let's just select the target drive. In this particular case I'm going to choose the external SSD, which is connected right over there, and it's called the iFlow. Let's press and let's start this quick test. So we have a 5 gigabit bandwidth right over here over USB 3.0, and the maximum that we will reach is a 500 megabytes per second reads and on writes mark, and basically it is what we are achieving at this moment. A bit lower, 408 right over here and 422 right on this side, but this is more or less in line with the 5 gigabits. One of the things that we can check as well is that here on the Explorer window I've got 3 units. One is the internal SSD from the laptop, the other one is the external SSD, and we have also a SD card, which if we disconnect we can see it right over there, and then if we connect it will appear. And of course below we also have the micro SD card, so if I want to use the micro SD card I can. So one of the really cool things that we will be able to achieve with this setup is that with one single cable we can just disconnect everything just like this, and then I can take my laptop. It's completely free. I didn't need to disconnect all those cables and accessories. I can just put it on my bag and take it with me. And then if I have another unit such as this, the SpliTXtend at my work, I just can arrive there and plug it in. And once I arrive back home, I can just connect it back on my laptop, and we are talking about one single cable right over here, and all my accessories and everything that I have will be plugged in once again. And as we can see, only this window right over here moved to this side, but everything else is organized, which is really awesome as well. So basically this is how we can use this SpliTXtend to improve our workflow and so that we are faster. Now if I want to do any kind of task, let's say that I need to open 2 browser windows, and if I need to work right over here, and if I need to do to write something right over there, this is one of the greatest advantages. Let me just search Google here, and we can go to Google. Let's go to a place where we have some words right over here, and if I wanted, for example, to write an article, I just need to open the app that I need to write right over here, and then I could start copying whatever I need to copy and put it on the side that I want. Now, usually I don't like politics because we are in the technology world, so let's open another page, and this one right over here, we could just take some conclusions right over here about AI or something like that, and then just copy and place right over here. So this is a lot faster than we could do with one single screen right over here. Now, for example, if I wanted, I could open my email right over here. So if I'm working there and if I receive an email, I don't need to close Windows and open. I just need to go to this display, write an email back, send it in, and that's it. I keep on working right over there. And of course, we are just giving an example with a browser, but it could be a video editing task, a photo editing task, or anything else that we want to do. This is the beauty of using up to 3 displays. Now, if I was editing video on a 3 display setup, I would choose the 4K 60 Hz for video editing, and then one of the 4K 30 to do this kind of more static work, and probably the 1080 at 60 frames per second for my email and browser and so on. So we will decide on what is best for us, but in terms of simplicity, in terms of usability, it doesn't get any simpler than this. If we are using macOS instead of Windows, we will be able to achieve the same result. So at this moment, I've got the 3 displays connected, and if I press here, we can see that one highlighting, this one highlighting, that one right over there, and then the laptop screen right over here. So we will achieve exactly what we have seen under Windows. So we could have a lot of, or at least 4 browsers open, or 4 different apps open, and we can see right over there. Now I did rearrange the displays like this, but once I connect tomorrow or the day after, it will remember, so I don't need to adjust it anymore, and it will stay this combination right over here. But the first time we will need to adjust where we want any particular screen, and if I adjust this one just by 1 millimeter, what happens? Didn't happen anything. But if I adjust here, we will see that the screens will blink, and then they will get back, they will memorize the setup, and it will stay like that. So let's get back to the aligned setup right over there. But as you can see, I've got all the peripherals that I had with the Windows computer, so I can just swap Windows by macOS or any other operating system that I'm using. Actually, macOS and Windows, and then we can work with a browser like this or any other app, not only on Windows, but also on macOS.